we are seeing the impact of technology. There is nowhere to hide. I will not be surprised if you... Thank you very much. Well, I must start off with the, the normal, protocol. Starting from, the GO, who is the visitor to this university. And we have the chairman. It's in our dictionary now in the Nigerian University, a strike. But go out there, people don't know what you are talking about. What is strike? And then when you now have to explain that, well, lecturers, the university closed, you say university closed, how is that possible? That type of thing. But again, we thank God that the private universities are showing us the way. And it's very, very important that we do not take this for granted. Now, this will not be, I must not take too long, even though one has a lot to say. The topic, say transforming the Nigerian university system for graduate employability and sustainable social. But before then, I must, in my first, somebody will help me. Okay, can you? I said in the tradition of the university system, every convocation ceremony is a unique occasion of bidding our graduates, goodbye, with the belief that they have undergone the transformation process to become total person during this particular period in their journey of life. I rejoice with the parents and with the graduates. I congratulate you for this worthy establishment. And I noted in here that the next stage that you are entering now, we provide you with unique challenges depending on the choice you have to make between three distinct possibilities. And what are the possibilities? One, seeking formal employment. And two, self-employment in a tough environment for doing business. That is, you are engaged in something that you really want to do yourself. And then, of course, the third one is pursuing a higher degree and the attendant, higher cost of this. So in all graduates, as I will present in this lecture, what are the attributes that we expect from our graduates now? I said graduate employability has become serious, not only in Nigeria, all over Africa and beyond, as I will show. It's now becoming a responsibility of university to address graduate employability. And that was what we did in 2013 at Gabon, African Association of African Universities. Where we engage ourselves in transforming higher education for graduate employability and socio-economic, future development. That how could we, that we could not be business as usual, taking for granted that yes, once the students leave our system, everything okay. No, we have to worry about even what they're going to meet out there, right from when they're within the four walls of the university. Because statistics have shown that Africa has the world's youngest population, which people talk of as demographic dividend. If we are to turn it into dividend, that is having youth, because the economy now in the world is moving in the direction of where youth now have to be in the forefront. You see some countries which they regard themselves as old. They are bringing down young ones to drive the industry, because the direction things are moving. Things now are technology driven, and technology is youth. But how do we turn it into dividend, that we have these young ones that can, transform our economy? But unfortunately, we have not been taking care, of this formally. Next. Now, we said that merely increasing enrollment and so on in Nigeria, yes, we are creating more universities so that we can have more graduates and so on. Fine. But we have to make sure that we have employability. Next. We have all heard in here the Arab Spring. The Arab Spring. What is Arab Spring? It was the disturbance that occurred in North Africa, in countries like Libya, Tunisia, Egypt, and so on. And what caused it was nothing more than youth unemployment. growing graduate unemployment, and the emerging voice of the young Arab people, like which we could almost equate to our NSAS. Whether we like it or not, the youth will still talk. And that was what happened under the Arab Spring. The main reason for the revolution, I noted in here, a female student in Libya noted, said that the main reason for the revolution in Libya is unemployment. So if our demands are not answered, expect another revolution. But what is very interesting in the case of in the case of the Arab Spring, was that the government and universities responded positively. They did not see it as challenge of the university, of their government. No, like we were seeing it as if it was confrontational. No, they interpreted the message, as I noted in here. As noted by the institutional response, he said, well, we noted that there is need for us to find out what the problems are and how the educational institutions can contribute to solving these problems. And what did they do towards solving the problem? They contacted, the British Council and others, really did some study to say, well, what could we do to help? To increase the graduate employability, to look at the, employment situation so that more graduates, will be fully engaged. That was what was done by the British Council, which I'm sharing the outcome because the outcomes really apply to our situation. In this region, research has shown that providing insight into our British Council and other, you should go, yes, come to the next slide. What did they do in that study? They interviewed students and graduates, recent graduates, in terms of looking back into what they experienced when they were in the university, and now they are now outside. What would they have liked to see while in the university? Then the employers themselves of labor, they asked them, what they felt, and the higher institutions themselves. Those three key elements. And what did they say? Highlights of what they brought out. Students and recent graduates, what sort of responses? We should study subjects that will be useful for our future jobs. They should be more relevant. A female student from Morocco. Another one said, whenever my friends and I talk about studying, we say, why bother? Either way, we will be unemployed. And so we sit in the coffee shop. We don't worry. What's out there? So why worry? Then some say, we talk about what job we will get after we graduate. We say that we will work anywhere, take any job, even in a closed shop. They're ready for any job that is available. Another one said, if I had the chance to meet with employers while I was a student, it would have given me an incentive to study. They could supervise you, you could exchange opinions, they could tell you to concentrate on a particular area so that you already know it well. They might even tell you, we need this skill in our company. And when you graduate, we are going to hire you in our company because you know what you are doing. It will be very, very helpful. Let me pause a little bit here. This one is talking about what we call in our Nigerian university system, SIWES, Students Industrial Work Experience Scheme. That is what I'm saying. And I can confirm that when we started engineering at the University of Ibadan in the 70s, we did not follow what other universities that were doing engineering before us, like UNILAG, ABU, and so on, what they were doing. No. Why those ones after A-level? Students were spending just 3 years. And then later, when students, people now started coming for, additional 1 year, now doing JAM, meaning 4 years for the 3 years, and then for engineering, 5 years. University of Ibadan took the decision that we will not our students will not graduate after 3 years. We will be graduating after 4 years. We had an equivalent of industrial attachment of 1 year during the time they were with us. And that 1 year industrial attachment, 3 months at the end of 200 level, 3 months at the end, then 6 months and they were having meaningful industrial attachment. Fantastic industrial attachment. And no problem. Even some of our students, even who were in petroleum engineering, they went to Texas in USA for their industrial attachment. And you could imagine them coming back. You yourself as a lecturer, you will see the transformation. You will see the confidence that has been built in them. And then not to talk of jobs. They were getting jobs easily from some of the companies where they served and so on. I think this is what this is saying, and it is, if there is any message, part of the message from this lecture, it is that every university must take some university. It's a great, I know it's very tough, because out there, Nigeria is undergone what we can call deindustrialization. You know, there's a number of companies where you could have had experience collapsing, some companies, moving out and things like that. But I will still say the university should do all that is possible to ensure that it doesn't matter which program, whether you're in economics and so on, you can identify the relevant places where they can have, that exposure. What they need cannot be only within the four walls of the university. They need to be, exposed. Not only that, lecturing now is not only the responsibility of lecturers alone. You also bring people from industry to participate in some well-regulated form in also, teaching, the student. So that's what that student, is saying in there. Yes, next. How about the employers? What did they say? In here, a new graduate may start with you on a low salary, then develop to be productive. But for the first 2 years, it's a liability on the company. It doesn't contribute enough. It's still learning, gaining experience. During this time, it might even damage a machine. He isn't used to dealing with different personalities or how to interact with the managers because he has not been exposed. So he has conflict with work. He also had hard time interacting in the job. And so during these 2 years, the company manager said, the company feels like the company is paying salary with no benefits. That is not peculiar there. When students join companies, our companies have to appreciate they are pupil. Even if it's engineering, we call them pupil engineers. It's a learning period. You still have to, take them through. Some companies will say, oh, the students were not work ready. Yes, they can be a bit work ready, but you must also do your part of, developing. That is important. Another one says, today I need graduates who can express themselves through communication skills. Communication is very important. And this is an international skill. You should have expressive language. Okay? That is very important. I know in university now that in Nigeria saying, well, they are going to make sure that in their own courses that they are going to be bilingual. And which is the second language? French. And why has that university chosen bilingualism? English and French. He said that let's look along the west coast of Africa, that they have a number of francophone countries. He wants the student, but language is very, very important.